Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 22nd of Jan 2024 and unfortunately guys, the price of Bitcoin is not looking good and there is a very high possibility that the market cap of Bitcoin will actually go below the $800 billion mark. Now listen guys, when there was news speculating regarding a possible approval of spot Bitcoin ETF, I did actually state that once the approval is actually done, the market cap of Bitcoin will actually cross the $1 trillion mark. Unfortunately guys, that did not happen, and this is the crazy nature of cryptocurrency world, isn't it? So the market cap of Bitcoin alone has gone down by almost $200 billion since that news, and that is the power of BlackRock getting into spot Bitcoin ETF. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. But on a positive side guys, we'll also go ahead and discuss the assets under management that is taking place because of the approval. And guys, we're going to start off the episode by discussing some massive news, and that is regarding the US Security and Exchange Commission. They may have a court case with Coinbase, so I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And guys, Laura Shin, one of the leading podcasters in the cryptocurrency space, she did release an episode last week, so I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And guys, last week I talked about few Republican senators who had put forward a bill to go ahead and make sure that CBDCs are not termed as money. And in today's episode we have some update, and that is another Republican and United States Representative Tom Emmer. He's actually joining force with President Donald Trump in a move against central bank digital currency. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys has to do with a partnership, and the news is that Liminal, they have partnered with Dubai-based Encryptus to bridge the gap between crypto and fiat. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And the second news guys has to do with artificial intelligence, and it is one of the leading companies not just from the Middle East, probably in the entire world so far as artificial intelligence is concerned, and that is G42. And the news essentially is that Abu Dhabi's G42 is investing in edge computing and AI startup called as Analog, and they did actually make this announcement at the World Economic Forum launch. So in today's episode I'll definitely go ahead and discuss what that news is all about. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode. So let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as we kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8, so tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race-Based Podcast. So check out the Race-Based Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race-Based Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since we've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, unfortunately, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is not looking good, but you also need to remember that I'm recording this podcast on the 22nd of January in the early hours in the Middle East, and to be honest, guys, it is still Sunday in most of the Western countries. Now, could this number change in the next coming days? Or really, I'm not sure, guys. We'll just have to wait and see, because right now the global cryptocurrency market is at $1.62 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally down by 1.58%. And if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 15.26%, and it is at $38.08 billion. I really am curious to check what these numbers would have been yesterday and day before yesterday. Now, so far as the volume in DeFi is concerned, guys, it is not looking good, to be honest. It is at $4.24 billion, and DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for 11.03% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $57.35 billion, with Lido leading the pack at $22.77 billion, and decentralized to centralized exchange dominance is at 11.10%. Now, guys, let me very quickly run through the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges. Now, because these numbers are in the early morning hours in Dubai, the numbers are not ideal, but I'm pretty much sure if you look at these numbers, later on in the day, the number would definitely increase by roughly around 20 to 40%. Now, as of now, Uniswap volume is at $691.73 million, and to be honest, guys, I wouldn't be surprised by tomorrow if the number is more than double. PancakeSwap is at number 2nd, and its volume is $303.42 million. Radium, guys, is at number 4th, and its volume is $282.06 million. Orca is at number 4th with $160.89 million, and finally Thorchain at $115.04 million. Now, guys, let's look at the volume of stablecoins, because the volume is ridiculously low, and it is only at $40.03 billion, and stablecoins, guys, as of today, is accounting for less than 90% of the total cryptocurrency market volume at 89.18%, and TerraUSDT's volume, guys, is $32.17 billion. Circle USDC is at $4.06 billion, and finally Tron USD, guys, its volume is less than $100 million, only at $94 million. Now, really wouldn't be surprised if these numbers definitely increases by roughly around 10 to 20% in the next few hours, or probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, guys, let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, the market cap of Bitcoin right now is only at $802 billion. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, in the next few hours it does go below the $800 billion mark. We'll just have to wait and see. As a matter of fact, Ethereum's market cap has gone below the $300 billion mark, and as of today it is at $290 billion. Now, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, the numbers are not looking good. Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is at $14.04 billion, whereas Ethereum is at $6.66 billion. So it looks like, guys, since the last 24 hours, there is not much activity going on in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That is a shame, isn't it, considering the fact we are talking about an approval of spot Bitcoin ETF, which was supposed to be a massive deal. And also, guys, if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, it hasn't changed at all. It is at 49.80%, whereas Ethereum's dominance has marginally picked up pace, and it is at 18.02%. Now, in today's episode, guys, let me very quickly run through the total value locked across different categories. So I'm talking about liquid staking, I'm talking about decentralized exchange, and I'm looking at the top 5. Now, the first one, guys, is liquid staking, and the total value locked is $34.11 billion. The second one is lending, and the total value locked is $22.45 billion. The third one, guys, is decentralized exchanges, and it is only at $14.74 billion. To be honest, guys, I was really expecting decentralized exchange total value locked to be much better than lending. That would give us an idea that people are actually using decentralized exchanges rather than just taking the funds in order to go out and get more interest. Those are my thoughts. The fourth one, guys, is bridges, and its total value locked is $13.68 billion, and finally CDP at $10.08 billion. Now, guys, before we look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, let me run through a protocol which is associated with TerraUSDT, but this is called as Tether Gold, and the ticker symbol, guys, is XUAT. That is X for X-ray, A for Alpha, U for Umbrella, and T for Tango. And Tether Gold, guys, is a special type of cryptocurrency called a stablecoin, but instead of it being tied to regular currency, it's directly connected to the value of gold, and for every unit of cryptocurrency that is XUAT, you're supposed to own 1 ounce of gold. Now, this gold, guys, isn't just a promise. It's meant to be actual physical gold, stored in a special vault that meets certain standards by a big gold market association. Now look, guys, roughly around a year ago, I did have an interview with the founder of LumiShare, and what he did actually suggest that using augmented reality and virtual reality headsets, people all over the world can go ahead and validate if the gold is actually in that vault. That'll be a brilliant use case, isn't it? And that just shows complete transparency. So what these issuers can actually do is make that promise so people all over the world can actually go ahead and validate if the gold does actually reside in these wallets, and it just tackles transparency at a massive level, isn't it? So definitely good thought process by him. Now the big question, guys, is what is it that makes Tether Gold unique? There are a few areas that I'd like to talk about. That is ease of transport, easy divisibility, 24/7 trading with ease, easily redeemable, easy storage, and easily verifiable. So let me just very quickly run through these points, because when you talk about ease of transport, guys, regular gold is heavy and not easy to carry around, isn't it? But with Tether Gold, you can take your digital gold anywhere, just like you do with other types of digital money. Now, so far as divisibility is concerned, breaking a gold bar into small pieces is extremely hard. However, with Tether Gold, you can own very tiny amounts of gold easily, so it's essentially like having a big chocolate bar and being able to share even with tiniest pieces. And so far as trading is concerned, normal gold trading, guys, has limitations, like where you are and what time it is, but with Tether Gold, it can be bought and sold anytime, anywhere, just like you would trade regular cryptocurrencies. And this, to be honest, guys, is the area of security token offerings. And to be honest, guys, Larry Fink did actually hint that tokenization is the future, and I'm pretty much sure, guys, you will be seeing quite a lot of similar projects in the next coming months. Now the next point, guys, is easily redeemable. Now listen, guys, if you want to turn your digital gold back into physical gold, they say you can do that. They supposedly send real gold bars to an address in Switzerland, so it's essentially like exchanging your digital gold certificate for the real thing. The next point, guys, is regarding storage. Now storing actual gold can be expensive and risky, but storing Tether Gold is meant to be as easy as keeping track of your digital assets, like virtual money in a video game. And finally, guys, it is easily verifiable, and you can supposedly check online to make sure that gold that backs your digital token really exists in the wallet. It's like having a receipt. Now at this point of time, I'm not sure how you can do it, but based on the idea, looks like there is an audit. But as I mentioned earlier, guys, by using virtual reality and augmented reality headsets, you can do that 24/7. That will make quite a lot of sense, isn't it? So far as verifiability is concerned, it's literally like having a receipt of your gold that you can check at absolutely any time. So essentially, in summary, guys, Tether Gold tries to make owning and dealing with gold more like dealing with regular digital money, making it easier, more flexible, and supposedly safer. But keep in mind, guys, that these actual effectiveness of these promises can depend on the trustworthiness of the organization behind Tether Gold. And look, guys, knowing the notorious history of us human beings, what if there is something similar to what money heist has happened? All your funds will be gone, isn't it? So always make sure to do your own research before getting into Tether Gold or any other cryptocurrency project for that matter. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now, unfortunately, guys, the price of Bitcoin is not looking good, and as of now, it is well below the $41,000 mark, and it is at $40,945. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.65%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 4.10%. Now look, guys, there is also news circulating right now. The so far spot Bitcoin ETF is concerned, it is right now the second largest ETF commodity in the US, and it has actually surpassed silver. So we'll definitely go ahead and very briefly touch base on that when we talk about assets under management, which is connected to spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, so far as Ethereum is concerned, guys, it is at $2,414. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.39%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 3.85%. Binance BNB Coin, guys, is at $317. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.01%, but since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.87%. Now look, guys, if you were to look at the number 3 protocol right now, so far smart contracting platform is concerned, Binance BNB's market cap is $46 billion, whereas Solana, which at one point of time briefly overtook Binance BNB, is actually down to $38 billion mark. So looks like the hype regarding Solana is gradually dying down, isn't it? Now, guys, let's discuss some massive news that is circulating right now, and that is regarding US Security and Exchange Commission versus Coinbase. Now look, guys, there is a really critical tweet or X which is put up by Bloomberg senior litigation analyst called Elliot Stein, and he actually assesses a 70% chance of victory for Coinbase in its motion to dismiss all claims made by the US Security and Exchange Commission. Now look guys, last year, the US Security and Exchange Commission did actually state that all of the securities and all of the meme coins that Coinbase is doing were definitely not right, and this update is regarding that, and this evaluation guys follows the oral arguments presented by Coinbase on Wednesday, and Stein does actually highlight how Judge Catherine Polk Falia wanted the US Security and Exchange Commission to provide a definition of investment contract that wouldn't ultimately encompass innocuous collectible items such as Beanie Babies. Now look guys, you need to be a lawyer to truly understand this, but look, based on my understanding guys, what the US Security and Exchange Commission is saying is extremely black and white. And I very specifically remember when the news actually broke out, Gary Gensler put up a series of videos explaining the key difference between staking, explaining what staking is, and what is it that centralized entities are doing. Now he did try to make fun of the word stake, and he actually tried to tell audiences that it is staking and not the actual steak that we eat. Now listen guys, unfortunately what I did find out is that Gary Gensler, the US Security and Exchange Commission, may not necessarily have authority to tackle these things, and the only way I found out was when I listened to Laura Shin's episode via her podcast Callers Unchained, and she had a session with Samson Enzo, who's a partner capital from Cahen Gordel and Rendell LLP. Now listen guys, they went and explained all these things in details, but listen, when I listened to the episode I definitely liked the content, but look, you could clearly tell that he's definitely favoring Coinbase, and I'm pretty much sure he's putting across points that are in favor of Coinbase. And while I was preparing for this podcast, it was only then I found out that he's actually representing Coinbase. So when you're listening to these podcasts, you need to focus on both sides of the areas. You need to go ahead and put your reasoning as to why the US Security and Exchange Commission is right, and at the same time you also need to go ahead and look at what Samson Renzer and their legal representatives from Coinbase are saying right, and then make up your own decision. Now to be honest guys, what the US Security and Exchange Commission is saying does seem to be black and white, but the big question which I'm unsure about is, does the US Security and Exchange Commission have the right to go ahead and file charges against Coinbase? Now because I'm in Dubai and UAE, I have absolutely no clue, but maybe someone who's a lawyer in US might have a better idea. But nonetheless, what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, definitely go ahead and listen to the entire episode, and in that show notes below, Laura Shin has given all the descriptions and previous podcasts that you can listen to regarding this case. Definitely brilliant episode. And in that episode guys, Samson, he also goes and explains some of the definitions that Dokon from Terraform Labs did actually have that was pertaining to the collapse of Terra Luna. So definitely worthwhile listening into, and that'll give us a broad idea of what is actually going on regarding Coinbase and SEC. Now based on the podcast, looks like what Coinbase is saying is to dismiss the case even before it goes to the court filings, and if that thing happens guys, I'm pretty much sure we'll see a resurgence on staking related activities. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the outcome to this is. Now guys, let's discuss some metrics regarding Spot Bitcoin ETF, and there is news circulating right now that Spot Bitcoin ETF approval has amassed 95,000 Bitcoin in 6 days, which is approximately $4 billion assets under management. And Cointelegraph did actually publish an article which states that Fidelity's FBTC and BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, also called as IBIT, have both had over $1.2 billion in inflow in the first 6 days of trading. And looks like this number is ridiculously high, and right now it is the second largest ETF commodity in US, surpassing silver. Now look, I was reading through some of these tweets, and looks like a lot of the gold maximalists and silver maximalists were definitely not happy about this, and they were actually stating that silver and gold, they do have actual some use case, but so far as Bitcoin, according to them, there is no actual physical use case. But so far as this news is concerned, definitely seems promising. Now guys, let's touch base on some news regarding Terraform Labs, and they have declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware, and the recent classification of Luna and MIR as securities by a US judge and an ongoing class action lawsuit in Singapore prompted this strategic move, and the documents guys were filed yesterday, that is the 21st of January, and it does actually indicate that the voluntary petition for bankruptcy by Terraform Labs PTE, and guys, the firm filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection at the United States Bankruptcy Court for District of Delaware, citing between 100 to $500 million in estimated liabilities and assets. So definitely not ideal. Now look guys, I very specifically remember a lot of the so-called cryptocurrency maximalists, so-called experts on cryptocurrencies, and even some of the so-called evangelists were actually stating that Luna is the future of cryptocurrency. And I very specifically remember Mike Novogratz did actually have a tattoo of Luna in his hand. I really am not sure what's going on with his tattoo right now. Now, so far as the news regarding the collapse of Luna is concerned, it's important to know that Terraform Labs was the firm behind the failed stablecoin TerraUSD, and they declared in the filing that somewhere between $100 to $500 million in estimated assets and the same amount in liabilities. And TerraUSD guys was a dollar-pegged cryptocurrency, and Terra Luna's token, which did actually collapse in May of 2022, isn't it? Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding CBDCs. Now look guys, whether we like it or not, central bank digital currencies are definitely gaining a lot of momentum. And last week guys, I did talk about few senators, all of them who are Republicans, who did actually put out a bill that they want to deem CBDCs as not money. And over the weekend guys, President Donald Trump, he did have one of the rallies, and in that rally he did actually promise that if he does get appointed as the President of United States of America in 2024, most likely I think he will definitely make sure that CBDCs are not adopted. Now there is, in addition to this news, and United States Representative Tom Emmer did actually mention via Twitter that he actually agrees with President Donald Trump that CBDCs pose a serious threat to America's right to financial privacy, and he is actually looking forward to working with him as he continues to fight against the expanding government surveillance state. Now look guys, what I tend to do is every month I tend to have a session on central bank digital currency, and I very specifically remember the very first session that I did on central bank digital currency. I did take some work from Representative Tom Emmer, where he was a massive detractor of central bank digital currency, and rightly so, and looks like he's definitely sticking to his guns, and definitely a right thing to do. And look, as I've said this thing so many times, Republicans, right-wing ideologies and politicians are definitely not fan of central bank digital currency. They're definitely fan of Bitcoin, definitely fan of open source, definitely fan of freedom of speech, and definitely fan of innovation. Left-wing politicians and left-wing ideologies and the Biden regime are definitely not fan of Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, definitely not fan of freedom of speech, definitely not fan of open source. They're definitely fan of CBDCs, definitely fan of being woke, and they are definitely not ideal, to be honest. Those are my thoughts and opinion. So those were some macro level news guys from the cryptocurrency world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is a partnership between Liminal and Dubai-based Encryptus, and they want to bridge the gap between crypto and fiat. So let me go ahead and explain what this news is all about. For Singapore-based Liminal is partnering with Dubai's Encryptus for digital asset solution, and guys, the collaboration bridges the gap between crypto and fiat, offering compliant conversion pathways. And what's going to happen with this partnership guys is that Liminal users can convert digital asset to fiat, enabling business payments in 54 countries, and individual payments are supported right now in over 80 countries, including bank wires and e-wallets. And Liminal guys specializes in digital asset custody and wallet infrastructure. And so far as Encryptus is concerned, it is a Dubai-based pioneer in providing comprehensive fiat off-ramp solutions. And so far as this partnership is concerned guys, the partnership aims to transform the digital asset space with seamless crypto to fiat conversion. And Liminal has a significant presence in the UAE, and they aim to expand further in the Middle East, and the Financial Services Regulatory Authority of Abu Dhabi has granted Liminal an in-principle approval. And look, so far as this collaboration is concerned, the collaboration enhances Liminal's ability to providing cutting-edge solutions globally, and Encryptus CEO Shantu Saxena sees the partnership as a strategic move for a comprehensive fiat off-ramp solution, and the alliance guys bridges the gap between traditional and crypto finance. And because of this partnership guys, Liminal gains access to Encryptus' diverse client base, expanding market reach. And for Encryptus guys, they benefit by offering secure and compliant crypto to fiat solutions to Liminal's clients. And guys, business opportunities expand for Liminal, integrating Encryptus off-ramp solutions, and direct crypto to fiat transfers are enabled through Liminal's Vaults app. And guys, both companies are committed to revolutionizing the industry with innovative solution, and the partnership guys aims to make crypto a readily accessible and valuable tool for global business. Now look guys, what I honestly think, this idea is absolutely great. But as and when time goes by, the nature of this business should actually go down, isn't it? Because you would want more people to directly use cryptocurrency. So definitely a brilliant partnership. But look, I do think that this business should actually reduce in size so that more people only use cryptocurrencies. Those are my honest thoughts, but definitely positive news. Now guys, let's discuss second news. And this is to do with a massive company in Abu Dhabi called G42. And the news is that Abu Dhabi's G42 is investing in edge computing and AI startup Analog, and they did make the announcement at the World Economic Forum launch. So let me go ahead and share what this news is all about. Because G42 guys is an Abu Dhabi-based AI and cloud computing firm, and they are investing in Analog, which is a new edge computing and AI startup. And Analog guys aims to develop AI-powered solutions in edge computing for enhanced speed and operating efficiency. Now the investment at this point of time is unknown, but this news was made official during the World Economic Forum at Davos, and they have a session called as AI House Davos, which is a multi-stakeholder platform, and they make the announcement over there. And Alex Kipman, guys, Analog's founder and CEO, emphasizes the goal of mixing human needs with AI potential, and Analog guys now plans to use edge computing to create interconnected relationships among individuals, locations, and objects as well. And now custom solutions will be provided for global issues in businesses, public sector, healthcare, and environment. And guys, the AI market is projected to reach $305.9 billion in 2024 with an annual growth rate of 15.83%. And edge computing processes data closer to users, enabling real-time action and faster speeds. And Analog's uniqueness lies in the ability to capture and use real-world data from millions of sensors. And G42 guys is the largest investor in Analog, making significant commitment to the startup, and Analog becomes the largest addition to G42's portfolio of AI-powered businesses focusing on edge computing artificial intelligence. Now listen guys, if you follow US politics, there were allegations that G42 is kind of associated with Chinese entities as well. And Alex Kipman did actually respond to allegations of G42's link with blacklisted Chinese entities, emphasizing a long-term approach, and recent claims were actually stating that G42's ties with entities like Huawei and with Beijing Genomics Institute, but looks like G42 is outright denying these claims. And Analog's announcement, guys, follows G42's initiatives, including 442 for national-scale digital transformation. And G42 guys also plans the launch of Space 42, which is an AI-powered space technology champion pending regulatory approvals. And Alex Kipman aims to make Analog profitable soon and state that the current focus is on progress in the UAE market, and expansion to the new markets will be considered gradually after establishing a strong presence in the UAE. So definitely positive news. So those were the news guys on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Crypto and Coffee at 8. And in case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question about Trisha who asks, with the resurgence in the price of Bitcoins thanks to the ETF news, do you think meme coins will make a comeback? Now to be honest, Trisha, it's really hard to tell. Now what I particularly think is because of spot Bitcoin ETF approval, rather than meme coins, most likely we might see an uptick so far as tokenization is concerned, and this is the area where security token offering kicks in. The security token offerings are completely opposite to what NFTs are or what meme coins are. So to answer your question, no, personally I don't think so that meme coins will make a comeback. But listen, as and when the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is increasing, especially towards the halving of Bitcoin, I'm pretty much sure the price of Bitcoin will increase. There might be some meme coins will definitely make a comeback. But what I genuinely think, Trisha, is that tokenization will be the next big thing. And I very specifically remember, Trisha, around 2019, that is before the COVID era, there were talks building up of security token offerings to be the next big thing, and they were actually comparing it with the ICO era, and they were saying that security token offerings will be 90 times bigger than the whole ICO hype. And now looks like, because of Larry Fink making a comment regarding Bitcoin stating that it is an asset, but he did aggressively state that the future is tokenization. And in today's episode I talked about Tether Gold. That is what security token offering is. So I wouldn't be surprised, let's say, if real estate is an area where tokenization kicks in the most, and pretty much all the paperwork gets tokenization. So what I think, Trisha, is in the next 6 months or maybe 1 year or 2 years, you might be seeing new hype, and that will revolve more to do with tokenization. But unlike NFTs, it won't be utilities, it'll be securities. That means it is regulated, and if it is regulated, it becomes easier to go and get every investors, maybe average individuals, the governments, employees, people all over the world could get into that. And if that thing happens, I wouldn't be surprised if mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies does happen much quicker. But regarding meme coins, I don't see it making a comeback, to be honest, because look, there is very little utility so far as meme coins is concerned. I don't think so far as Dogecoin is concerned. There is actual use case, but let's say Shiba Inu, at least it has some use case. But to answer your question, no, I don't think so meme coin will be making a comeback. Definitely not as much in the past, but so far as the price is concerned, it'll definitely pump up, but I'm pretty much sure it's going to die down as well. But listen, Trisha, so far as cryptocurrency is concerned, as I often say, all price predictions or all predictions so far as hype is concerned, they're 100% right 50% of the time. But definitely an interesting question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything season blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how this series of episodes on the Crypto Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.